Hello, and welcome to Through Endurance We Conquer. I'm your host, Ashley Mello. This podcast is all about using running, not just as a way to stay fit, but as a tool to improve your mental health, build resilience, and navigate life's ups and downs. For me, running has been a game changer. It's helped me face tough times, find clarity in the chaos, and build the mental strength to push through challenges, both on and off the road. I started this podcast to help others experience the same benefits I've gotten from running, because I truly believe that through endurance, we conquer. Today, we're talking about mental blocks and how to overcome them, and I'll give you a few strategies to push through and stay consistent. Some days, the hardest part of running is just getting started. It's normal to hit these mental blocks in your training or in your regular running routine, especially when dealing with anxiety, depression, or just general fatigue. And there's many reasons why you can experience mental blocks. Sometimes it depends on your mental health. With depression, you're dealing with a low mood, you feel like everything you do is useless, and you just can't find a reason to go out and run. With anxiety, you may be overthinking your training plan or overthinking what to wear, when to go, if it's worth it. Is it going to rain? Is it going to be too hot? Do I have time to do this run before work? And that can lead to decision fatigue, and it could keep you from going out at all because you spent so much time worrying about what could go wrong. Another thing that can hold you back from running is self-doubt. You may feel like you're too slow, you're too tired, you're not making any progress, and what's the point of even going out? Sometimes it's external stress factors like work, relationships, family, friends, that can also play a role in whether you feel like going for a run or not. And it's all normal to experience these things. It just comes with life. For me, I've been dealing with a knee injury for almost 9 months now, and I'm not even sure yet what it is. And until I talk to my doctor about the MRI results, I have no idea what it is. I have no idea exactly how to tailor my workouts to the injury. And for now, I've just been focusing on strength training. I haven't been running. I've just been doing low impact exercises. It's just a modification of what I did in physical therapy with a little bit of weight. So it's stronger than the resistance bands I was using, but not so much weight that I'm making the injury worse, or at least I hope I'm not. I'm pretty sure at this point, whatever it is, I'm probably going to have surgery. I know with surgery, I'm probably going to lose a lot of my muscle that I'm building. And when I think about that, it feels like, what's the point? What's the point of even going to the gym if I'm going to lose all this progress and pretty soon I'll be at square one again? And I do recognize that, but I still have been pushing myself to go to the gym so I can stay consistent, I can work on my form, and I can build these good habits so when I am able to train again, it's not such a struggle to get back into it. And also for my mental health, so I can at least have some movement even if I can't run anymore. Now I want to go over some of the strategies that you can use to push through when you just don't feel like running or working out. The first one you can use is the just 5 minutes rule. Tell yourself you'll run or even just walk for just 5 minutes. That's pretty simple. It's about a song and a half. 5 minutes really isn't that much in the grand scheme of things. So you can try that out, and after 5 minutes, if you still don't feel like it, you can stop if you want to. But most of the time, once you are out and you've been moving, you won't want to stop. This strategy also works for if you're in the middle of the run and you're just not feeling it. Some days you will get out there, you'll get moving, and you still will not be in the mood to keep going. You may feel good physically, but you just feel a little tired, maybe slightly sore, not injured, but something in you just wants to stop. So in that moment, tell yourself, I'll just do 5 more minutes. Once that time is up, check in and see how you feel. Can you do 5 more minutes? Just keep going and doing cycles of 5 minutes and checking in. And usually you'll see that if you can break it down into those smaller chunks of time, you can get yourself through the full workout. And I use something similar to this. You don't have to chunk it down into minutes. You can chunk it down into miles if you need to. And that's what I did one day when I had a 10-mile run scheduled. It was in the morning on a work day. I had already hit snooze a few times, and I was worried about whether or not I had enough time to get the run in before work. So I told myself, I'll just do 5 miles. I'll just do half. And that's usually the sweet spot of distance where I enjoy the run. It's long enough for me to get in the zone, but not so long that I feel tired or it disrupts my day. Once I got a few miles in that day, I felt more confident in finishing the workout. I felt more awake, I had warmed up, and I was able to push myself to do the full 10. Another thing you can do is make it easier on yourself and lower the barrier to entry. What I mean by that is you can prepare the night before. Look up what the weather is going to be, pick out all of your clothes, whatever gear you'll need, and just lay it all out. Have it all ready to go, so when you get up in the morning, before you can even talk yourself out of your run, you just get dressed and go out. Another thing you can do is, especially on work days, have a go-to route so you don't have to make decisions on the fly of should I turn here, should I keep going, is it time to turn around? Just have your route already planned out. Maybe it's one that you normally do or you've already done it a few times and you're very familiar with it. And then you don't have to worry about surprise hills. You already know what you're getting into. And that makes it easier to go out and run when you're already familiar with the route. Another thing you can do, which is kind of similar to what I talked about with the 5 minutes, is just keep a bare minimum run in mind. If you have a long run scheduled and you just don't quite feel like doing the full thing, think, I'm just going to do one. I'm just going to do one easy mile, and that's better than nothing. And usually what you'll find is once you do that mile, you'll want to do another, and you'll want to keep going until you finish your workout. Another way to find some motivation to go out and run is use music, podcasts, or have a morning ritual to get you ready. Certain songs or even a motivational podcast can help shift your mindset. You can create a playlist and put that on while you're getting ready to hype you up to get out for the day. And you can let that motivation carry you throughout your run. Some phones even have a feature where you can download a specific song and use that as your alarm sound. And that can help get you started with the day. Or you can create a ritual that helps you get ready and helps you stay motivated, whether that's starting with a cup of coffee, doing some light stretches, maybe that's listening to your playlist that you put together. For me, I start my morning with just the basics. I drink water, I brush my teeth, I'll listen to my playlist while I do that, and then that leads me into my warm-up. By then I'm ready to go out for my run or my workout. But I start my day like this because it makes me feel like I'm not just getting ready for a workout. It's not workout focused. I'm just getting my day ready in general. Because sometimes when you start the day thinking of what you have to do, it's a lot more tempting to hit snooze and put it off and procrastinate. But if you're getting up with the mindset of, I'm just getting my day started, that'll help get the ball rolling and help you ease into the day and lead into your workout or run. Another tool you can use is leaning into accountability and external motivation, whether that's joining a running group, running with a friend, committing to a challenge. Maybe you can challenge your friend to see who can hold the longest running streak or who can run the most days per week. Or maybe you decide to sign up for a 5K together so you can train along the way together. Even posting your run afterward can help create accountability. Joining a group on Strava or Facebook and posting your runs helps keep you accountable with other members in the group. And seeing those likes and kudos helps you feel good too. Next time you don't feel like going, remember how good it felt to see other people give you a pat on the back, give you the kudos and the likes for getting your run in. Another tool is reframing your mindset. Instead of thinking, I have to run, think, I get to run. And remember that you enjoy running. You decided to add it to your workout routine. You decided to train for a race because you enjoy running. Or instead of thinking of it as a workout, think of it as this is your me time. Especially in the morning, it feels good to have some time for yourself to get the day started, and this time is just for you. It's not a workout you have to do. This is when you get to focus on just yourself. You can also focus on how you'll feel after the run and not before or during. Remember how you feel on days when you skip your run versus days when you do it. Normally on days when you skip it, you're just ruminating and feeling down on yourself and beating yourself up for skipping it. You think, well, I know I skipped it, but I could have got it done. Maybe I can do it after work. Maybe I don't have time or the energy. And that just brings your mood down for the day. As opposed to days when you do get it done, you feel good, you feel accomplished, you got something on your to-do list done, and that sets a positive tone for the day. And you're going to feel more productive because you already got one big thing done. And sometimes when you don't want to run, but you push yourself to do it anyways, that feels even better than on days when you do feel good and you go run. Because once you get it done, you're going to realize, I really didn't want to do it, but I still did it. And that feels so good. When you don't feel like doing something, but you do it anyways, it makes you feel very accomplished. It helps build confidence. And that's a good thing to remember on the days when you don't feel like doing it. Remember how good you felt when you didn't want to do it, but you did it anyways. And then you'll be relieved because you got it done. It's out of the way and you can move on with your day. Running doesn't have to feel good before you start. It doesn't have to feel good during. Not every day's going to be great. You might not even feel good when you get it done. But just remember that it has to get done. I also want to talk about the motivation versus discipline, the difference between the two, and finding a balance. I hear a lot of people say that motivation is useless or motivation is just a feeling, but that's not entirely true. I believe that motivation and discipline work together, like yin and yang. Some days motivation carries you. You've just set a goal, you're excited, it feels easy to show up, and that's a great feeling to have, but it's not always guaranteed. Other times, discipline has to take over. When it's cold, when it's too hot, when you're tired, when life feels overwhelming, you won't always feel like running, but sticking to the habit matters. You have to push yourself to go even when you don't want to, and sometimes that's the only way to get it done. And you can't wait around to feel good. You have to practice the discipline of going out and getting it done no matter how you feel, good or bad. And that's a good skill to work on. And most days, motivation and discipline work in tandem. I like to think of it as motivation gets you out of bed, but discipline gets you out the door. If you struggle with depression or anxiety, sometimes you have to invest a lot more in discipline before you get to feel the motivation. You have to show up for yourself even when you don't want to, even when you feel like it's worthless to get out there. You feel so sad and down and like nothing matters. If you struggle with depression or anxiety, sometimes you have to invest in discipline first. You have to show up even when you don't want to. And then the motivation follows later as you build momentum. Once you invest in the discipline, then you start to feel the motivation, and feeling that motivation will help you stay consistent. And it's important to practice when you're dealing with depression, when you feel down and like nothing matters and you just don't feel good at all. It's a good thing to practice discipline, to push yourself to do the things you don't want to do, to get up and shower, to get up and get your day going, to brush your teeth, just the basics, just to push through and get some things done so you're not sinking lower in that low feeling. And once you are consistent with investing in discipline and practicing discipline, the motivation will come. You'll start to see and feel your progress, and that's where you'll draw that motivational feeling from. Once you see and feel the progress, you want to keep that going. You want to see more progress. You want to see how much further you can go, how much faster you can go. And that's going to help you stay consistent along the way. So instead of just relying on motivation or discipline, recognize when you need to lean into each one and know that they work together. Some days it's going to be all discipline getting you through. And other days, you're going to have to use the two together. So maybe you've tried all of these strategies before and you still just do not feel like going out for a run. What can you do? Acknowledge that some days the best option is rest. As you go along and you've been running for some time, you'll get to know your mind and body better, and you'll be able to tell the difference between that early morning grogginess or that after work slump versus deep fatigue. And if it's just that morning grogginess or after work slump, those strategies I mentioned, those will usually get you warmed up and get you going. But if those aren't working, maybe you do feel a deep fatigue. Maybe it's a physical fatigue or mental fatigue. Some days your depression or anxiety does win, and that's fine. Not every day is going to feel great. You're not going to be able to win every battle with your mental health. Sometimes you do have to retreat and take a rest day and just take care of yourself, and that's okay. That doesn't mean that you're failing. That doesn't mean you're always going to sink down lower into your depression. It just means you need to take some time for yourself, and that's okay. Some days, if you just really can't find it in you to run, just try a short walk. Do some light stretching. You can get on the bike at the gym, something light and easy just to keep movement in your day. Sometimes that helps, just having a light, active recovery session like that. Maybe try some yoga, especially one that focuses on breathing. That'll help kind of calm you down and help you find some rest even with some light movement. If you do miss a day, that's fine. Just take it easy on yourself, be kind to yourself. Recognize that it's not going to ruin your progress. It's all about the big picture. I'd say as long as you're staying consistent about 80, maybe 90% of the time, you're still going to see progress. You're not going to lose all of your progress or fall back if you take 1 or 2 rest days in the week. That's fine. As long as overall you're about minimum 80% consistent, you're going to be okay. You're still going to see progress. And rest is part of your plan too, because you can't just push through each and every single day. Sometimes you have to take a step back, let yourself recover, because if you do push through every day, eventually you will burn out, or you may be prone to injury. It's better to invest in that recovery day instead of pushing through and having to take weeks off. And remember, these mental blocks are normal. It's part of the process. You're not failing. Everyone, every single person, even elite athletes, everyone feels these blocks that prevent them from training or that make training even harder. And that's okay. It's normal. And so for this week's challenge, I'd like you to pick 1 or 2 of the strategies we went over and use those the next time you're struggling to get your run done. If those don't work for you, try a few others. It's not a one-size-fits-all. What works for some may not work for others. The important thing is to try and practice and see what works for you. For any additional advice or questions about today's episode, or if you want to learn more about one-on-one coaching, you can email me at ashley@mellowrunning.com, or you can message me through Instagram at Through Endurance We Conquer. If you're just starting your running journey and don't know where to start, download my free Couch to 5K running guide on mellowrunning.com to build up to running 3.1 miles in just 6 weeks. It's free and beginner friendly. And I'll put my contact information and links in the show notes. Next week, we'll talk about the benefits of running outdoors for mental health. So don't forget to subscribe and share the podcast with a friend. Thank you for listening. I hope these tips help you push through your mental blocks and keep running. Keep showing up, trust the process, and remember, it's through endurance that we conquer.